A town was swallowed by sand. It is still whole. This is a claim so strange it feels like a dream, a story whispered by the wind itself. But it is true. Deep beneath the shifting dunes, a place of human life waits, untouched by the centuries. Its walls are upright, its streets are clear, though filled with a golden silence. You will not believe it at first. The very idea seems impossible, a trick of light and shadow. But the evidence is there, buried and waiting, a complete world locked away from time's relentless march forward. The world above changed, but this town did not. The roof tiles are in place, settled under a blanket of fine grains. Doors stand where they were last closed, some slightly ajar, as if expecting a return that never came. Think of a small town nestled by the sea on the edge of a great, sprawling desert. Life here is dictated by the elements, by the sun, by the wind. The people knew the land, or so they thought, but the land can change. The wind, once a familiar whisper, began to shift its tone and grew stronger. A great storm gathered on the horizon, not of rain, but of dust and sand. It would have blotted out the sun, turning day into a suffocating twilight of swirling grit and endless noise. The sand came and came, not a gentle dusting, a relentless tide. It climbed the walls of houses, piled against doors and windows like an unstoppable flood. It flowed into the streets, filling narrow lanes where children once played, and where merchants once called out their wares. The air became thick, unbreathable. Every gust brought more, burying the familiar shapes of home under an alien landscape. Slowly, the town began to vanish, one building at a time. People left in growing terror. At first they fought back, shoveling doorways, clearing paths, hoping it would cease. But the sand was too much, too fast. They could not dig out. The volume was overwhelming. The choice was stark: abandon everything or be buried with it. Families gathered what they could and fled, looking back as dunes consumed their homes. They left expecting to return, but the sand was too deep. Time passed. The storm subsided. The sand remained. The town slept beneath new dunes, a secret kept by the earth. What was once vibrant life became soft, rolling hills. The wind, now calm, sang over the graves of houses. Generations passed. The memory faded into legend, stories told by elders of a place lost to the anger of the wind. The town vanished from sight and from memory. Years turned into decades. Decades swelled into centuries. Above the buried town, the world continued its frantic dance of growth and decay. But below, time stood almost still. The immense weight of the sand became a roof, a perfect, seamless covering that protected everything beneath it. This roof did not leak. Rain that fell upon the dunes would soak into the upper layers and evaporate in the sun, never reaching the hidden structures below. This created a pocket of extreme dryness, an environment hostile to the very processes of decomposition that erase our world. The air trapped under the sand stayed profoundly dry. In this arid stillness, the agents of decay were rendered powerless. Wood remained hard and intact. The intricate carvings on a bedpost, the smooth surface of a wooden bowl, the very beams holding up the ceilings, all were preserved. Cloth, paper. They survived as brittle, ghostly echoes of their former selves, holding onto their textures and sometimes even their colors. Metal did not vanish into rust. Stone. Clay stayed hard and resolute. No plants grew deep within this sandy tomb. On the surface, desert scrub might find a tenuous hold, but their roots could not penetrate the dense, compacted layers to reach the town below. The town was sealed away not only from the sky, but from the very life of the earth itself. It was a sterile environment, cocooned and isolated, a world within a world where the normal rules of nature were suspended. The town stayed as it was the day the sand came. It is a difficult concept to grasp fully. We are accustomed to seeing ruins as fragmented, broken things. But here, the scene is one of completeness. A sandal might lie on the floor, not as a pile of decayed leather, but as a recognizable shoe, still holding the shape of the foot that wore it. A stack of clay tablets might sit on a shelf, their inscriptions as clear as the day they were etched. It is a preservation so absolute it feels supernatural, a quiet miracle performed by millions of tons of ordinary sand. Why did the town not break down and crumble into dust? The answer lies in the unique properties of the sand that entombed it. The sand did three critical things. First, it kept the air out, creating a pocket of trapped, arid air. Without moisture, bacteria and fungi cannot thrive. The town was essentially freeze-dried by dryness. This halted the biological clock and preserved organic materials. Second, the sand kept out the pests. An abandoned building quickly becomes a home for new life. Insects, mice, birds, other small animals. But no creature could survive under the immense pressure and lack of air beneath a colossal dune. The town was a fortress, impenetrable to the tiny armies of life. That lack of biological interference let delicate objects survive. Woven baskets, scraps of parchment. Third, the sand exerted a slow, even pressure on everything it covered. Not a crushing landslide, but a gentle, supportive weight. Sand flowed into rooms and around objects, filling every void and creating a supportive cast. This pressure prevented fragile things from collapsing as they aged. A delicate ceramic pot, for example, was held in place from all sides, reinforced by surrounding grains. The sand did not crush, it cradled. It acted like a big, silent, perfectly molded cover. Extreme dryness, a lack of living organisms, stable, supportive pressure. Infographic, no moisture icon, no pests icon, even pressure arrows. The sand vault did not move much over the centuries. Dunes on the surface might shift with the wind, but the deep, compacted layers that held the town remained largely static. It was a state of suspended animation. The town was not destroyed. It was stored. It was put away carefully, waiting for a future time when it could be unearthed, not as a ruin, but as a near-perfect specimen of a lost world. If you're loving this hidden world mystery, tap subscribe, like, and share to keep this story alive. Archaeologists who find such towns know they have discovered something precious, a time capsule of unparalleled clarity. The process of excavation is painstaking. They cannot simply bring in heavy machinery. To do so would be to destroy the very perfection they seek to study. They dig slowly, with infinite care, often using small hand tools, trowel, brush. It is a process more akin to surgery than construction. Every grain of sand is removed with purpose, revealing the world beneath it, inch by inch, as if turning the pages of a fragile, ancient book. The streets come back to life, little by little. As the sand is cleared, the lines of cobblestones or packed earth reappear. The facades of houses emerge, doorway, window. The archaeologists clear the houses step by step, room by room. It is methodical and patient. They must document everything exactly as it is found. The context is as important as the object itself. A fallen cup tells one story. A cup set carefully on a table tells another. They find the humble artifacts of daily existence: bowl, shoe, basket, toy. These are the objects that breathe life into the past. A clay bowl may still bear the faint circular mark left by a spoon. A leather shoe may still hold the curve of a foot. A wooden bed frame may still feature a pattern carved by a craftsman. A small touch of beauty in a functional object. These finds are more than curiosities. They are data. They tell who lived in these homes, what people cooked, how they slept, what games their children played. Kitchens reveal diets. Workshops speak of trade and skill. The simple, everyday objects, preserved with startling fidelity, transform the abstract past into something tangible, personal, profoundly human. We are not just observing history. We are stepping into a home. Section 6. The Science of Stillness. How do scientists determine the age of these silent towns and the stories they hold? They employ a sophisticated array of tools and methods, each providing a different piece of the puzzle. One of the most powerful techniques is radiocarbon dating. All living things, trees, people, absorb carbon from the atmosphere. including a rare radioactive isotope called carbon-14. When an organism dies, it stops absorbing carbon, and the carbon-14 it contains begins to decay at a known, constant rate. By measuring the remaining carbon-14 in wood, seeds, or bone, scientists can calculate how long ago it died with remarkable accuracy. Beyond dating objects, archaeologists study the layers of sand and soil. Stratigraphy. The Earth is like a book, with each layer a different page of time. The deepest layers are generally the oldest. By analyzing the sequence of layers, the color, the texture, the composition of the sand, they can build a timeline of events: original ground level, the catastrophic sand layer, and the centuries that piled on top. Coins, tools. Rulers often stamped coins with their image or name, anchoring a period. If a coin is found in a sealed room, the room could not have been sealed before that coin was minted. Similarly, pottery styles, tool design, and construction techniques evolve. Comparing with well-dated sites places the town in a broader context, refining its place in civilization's timeline. All of these clues, radiocarbon dates, soil layers, coins, artifact styles, are woven together into a rich, detailed story of dates and people. They can determine when the town was buried and how long it was inhabited. Pollen reveals climate and agriculture. Microscopic marks tell diet and preparation. It's really quite extraordinary. Section 7. A surprising grain of truth. Sometimes the most profound discoveries come from the smallest of clues. In one buried town, a sharp surprise came not from a grand structure or a golden treasure, but from the dust itself. By analyzing the mineral composition of the covering sand, geologists made a startling discovery. The tiny grains were not local. They did not match the coastline or the nearby desert. This was foreign sand, carried by the wind for many hundreds of miles from a distant source. This single fact changed everything. The wind that buried the town was no ordinary storm. It was part of a massive, regional climate event, not a localized disaster, but a symptom of a much larger change. Further research into ice cores and ancient lakebeds confirmed it. The abandonment coincided with prolonged drought and environmental upheaval. Super winds transported vast quantities of sand over incredible distances. The story became more complex. With less rain, rivers altered course or dried up, exposing new plains to the wind. It's also possible human activity played a role. Forests cut for farmland or fuel, leaving topsoil exposed to powerful winds. The town was simply in the wrong place at a very bad time. This adds a tragic irony. They weren't felled by a freak storm, but caught in a slow, large-scale environmental crisis. The burial was the final act in a long play of climate change and human impact. The sand that preserved their world was also a testament to the forces reshaping it, a warning written in billions of tiny traveling grains. Well, it's sobering, isn't it? Section 8. Echoes of a world connected. The discoveries within these buried towns continue to teach us new things, offering a resolution so high it is like watching the past in high definition. A jar full of preserved seeds tells us not just what people ate, but what they grew. This reveals their agricultural knowledge and their relationship with the land. A small, carved toy soldier does more than show children played. Its uniform might reveal details about local military or artistic styles, a tiny messenger from a forgotten world. Some finds can rewrite history. A single coin from a distant land can change our understanding of an ancient economy, proving this town was part of a larger trade network. A pattern woven into cloth might match a design from another culture hundreds of miles away, suggesting people, ideas, and skills moved across the landscape. The buried town becomes a node in a wide, interconnected world. The town under the sand is, in essence, a time machine. It allows us to do more than read about the past. It allows us to touch it. When an archaeologist lifts a pot, they may be the first to hold it since its owner set it down. This physical connection is powerful and deeply moving. It collapses the immense span of time that separates us from them. Each object, preserved in its original context, makes the town's story clearer, richer, and more personal. Now, we ask for a small moment of your time. If this story of a world asleep under the sand has captured your imagination, please subscribe for more. Like this video if the idea of such perfect preservation shocked you. Share it with a friend who loves history and mystery. And leave a comment below. What do you think was the very last thing someone saw before fleeing the town? We are eager to read your thoughts. Thanks for being here. Section 9. The weight of a single moment. In the end, the town is both lost and found. It is lost because its life was violently extinguished, its people scattered, its culture brought to an abrupt halt. It is a monument to a community that vanished. But it is also found because through the patient work of science, we can dig it out and read its story. The town holds both a deep sadness for what was lost and a profound wonder at what was saved. It shows us a vibrant life that stopped in a single terrifying hour, but it also gives back a great gift, the chance to listen to that life once more. Think for a moment of the last object you would grab if you had to leave your home in a hurry, with no time to think. A photograph? A book? A small memento? Now imagine that object remaining exactly where you left it, untouched for 1,000 years, waiting for a stranger from the future to find it. That is the strange emotional weight of a town buried under sand. It asks us to slow down our own frantic lives. It asks us to look closely at the things we leave behind. It asks us to learn from a silence that speaks volumes. The town under the sand also poses a haunting question to our world today. All around the globe, communities face the relentless movement of sand and sea. Deserts are expanding, coastlines eroding, people losing land to wind and water. The buried town is not just a curiosity, it is a case study. It shows what can happen when the environment changes rapidly. A lesson written in stone and preserved in sand.